want to talk about creating your profile using widgets and also using plugins. So to get into your profile, what you're going to do is you just click this thing up here in the corner. You can hit edit my profile or just click on your name and you'll get into your profile. So down here, if you scroll down, you can see you can change, or you cannot change your username, but you can put in your first and last name if you like. I'm going to leave my last name blank. You can change the nickname. This is the different name that's going to post when will show up with your posts. Whenever you make it, it'll say like posted by, in my case, Susan on October 20th or whatever. So, and I've also selected this here. I've changed this since Dr. Townsend created this Comtamusa website for us. He purchased it. It was purchased in his name. His email was automatically put in there, but I've gone in and I've changed it to outside email. And I can fill out any information that I want. And most of this information is going to be just stored inside of this particular page, inside of this particular account. However, the Gravatar image is a little bit different. Gravatar it's an image that you will have, and it will be across all of your WordPress sites. So I'm going to go ahead and create my Gravatar, or select it. I already have one that's online here. So I've already logged in. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Gravatar. I'm going to pick a Gravatar. It's saying confirm. And this is rated G. You can have things rated all the way up to X, just like movies. So anyway, now across all of my WordPress sites where I log in using this particular email address, which has been my email, don't laugh, I know it's AOL, but I've had it since probably before some of you were born. So it's my very, very consistent permanent email address, as probably will be my Google address as time goes on. So anyway, I've done that. Now I can go back in time here. I'm just going to hit the back button until I get back into the website. And this is not showing up, but it will show up basically in like 10 minutes or something like that. We're going to talk a little bit about Yoast SEO later in the class, so we're not going to worry about this right now, but I'm going to go ahead and update my profile. And again, that picture will change eventually. You may want to use the same email, one of your emails here, as logging into your account, because then it will be able to find you. But if you didn't, that's no big deal. I think it'll find you anyway eventually. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about widgets. When I go and I look at the site, you can see I have things here in the sidebar. I have recent comments, which there are none, because this is a new site. I don't have any categories, which we're going to talk about today. Nothing to archive. But these things over here on the side are widgets. And, you know, I don't really like this metadata being right here, so I may want to remove that. I may want to put different things. So how do I change my widgets? Let's go ahead and go into this dashboard. Actually, you can see I have access to my widgets right there. If not, you can go into Dashboard Appearance, and I believe the widgets are in that menu. It's a little slow today. Let's give it some time here. Let's try Dashboard, see if that goes any faster. Okay, so that actually did go. Now I can pull up widgets here. It is pretty slow moving today. Okay, so different templates are going to have different areas where you can put widgets. This particular template that I'm using has a sidebar and bottom content 2. So, bottom content 1 and bottom content 2. So I can drag things around. Like, let's say I'd rather have meta on the bottom. So I just drag that over. Say I want categories down here. If I don't want something, let's say I don't want recent comments to show up, I can actually delete this widget. And I can also say I want a calendar, which is over here. All of my different things that I can put over here as widgets. Say I want a search bar, or I want an RSS feed. RSS feed that's real simple syndication. So like say you want to get the RSS feed from CNN or something like that, they will give you the information and you just pop it into that. So let's go ahead and put an RSS feed here, and I don't have the RSS feed, so let's search for CNN RSS feed. Okay, so let's say I want top stories. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go back. Select what I think is relevant and say save. And once I have it saved, I can close it. Now let's go back and visit the page. So this should be bottom content 2, so that'll be at the bottom of the page. Whoops. Maybe bottom content is not a good place for that, so let's go back. Oops, it didn't stick, that's why. Let's go back. Let's put it here. There's my feed URL. Do I have empty spaces here? That could make it not work. Valid URL is not provided. Let's see. Okay, so now let's see. There we go. So there's my CNN feed. So anyway, those are what the different widgets are. So you can go in and play with those. They will either show across your bottom or the side or wherever your theme allows you to do it. The other thing I want you to take a look at is plugins. And plugins give additional functionality to your website. So, for instance, I have all of these plugins here on the sides of your website. You have a photo gallery that you can go in and you can create a photo gallery. I have actually, I believe these are two different photo galleries that you could play with. This Add Custom CSS is actually a plugin that you are already using. This calendar is a plugin that you're already using. And you can go in here and see if you have some plugins available to you that you can play with. You actually may not be able to see a lot of these, but I would like you to play with the calendar. I'd like you to make a photo gallery. You're already using custom CSS, but if you're not using that very much, go ahead and use that a little bit more. This SEO is a plugin. We are going to look a little bit further at Google Analytics and SEO, which is search engine optimization. So you can get in and start tinkering with that a little bit right now. But really do try to make a photo gallery. The way you find out how these things work, by the way, is you can usually go in and just kind of flip through these things, see what the options are. But you should also be able to see if you go into your appearance or into your plugins, everything that I have web activated is going to show up. And so inside of there, you can always see this view details, for instance, view details. And when you click on those, it's going to give you information. Now recognize that these plugins are made by third-party developers. They're not made by WordPress. So everything is going to be set up a little bit differently. I can't say, oh, it's always going to be work this way, because it's going to work the way the developers made it, and we have no idea what they were thinking at the time. However, what I have done here is I have gone and selected a good assortment of plugins for you to play with, and they should all kind of appear all around the side, and the calendar appears up here on the top. So go ahead and see what these things do. These are going to be differently, show up differently depending upon the installation of WordPress that you use. For instance, if you just make a blog at wordpress.com, you're not going to have any of these things. These are just added because I have given you these options in this multi-site install. If you purchase an internet service provider and do your own WordPress installation, which, you know, if you have a few extra bucks, I encourage you to do if you want to do this kind of thing for a living, or host, you know, event web pages, or host your online magazine, or whatever it is you want to do. I do encourage you to get that, but then you have a whole bunch of third-party plugins. Right now I have it limited to just these, since because we don't want to crash the whole website by having just random things popping up all over the place. But anyway, so that is what we were looking at for this week. If you look at your rubric for this project, and I don't feel like digging it out, but I believe that it said I want you to try using 3 widgets. So I'd like to see you for sure trying an RSS feed, changing around some widgets, move a widget, that type of thing. Get an understanding of what the widgets are. Play with at least 3 of the plugins. One of them you're already playing with. Oh, I know what else I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about categories, because one of the widgets that you have the option to play with is categories. And what categories are is a way to organize your posts. So if you go in here and you have posts, you can see that categories is an option. So let's say I have noticias. So I can have it be the same thing here. I want that probably to be all lowercase. Slugs are always lowercase. There's no parent Add new category. Now when I go in here and I make a post, over here, when I select it, I can tell it what category. And then people can search by category. So let's say you're an event planner, you can have wedding events, and you can have convention events, and you can have family reunion events. You can organize things in any way that makes sense, but it helps your user find the information in your posts a lot more easy. A lot easier. Once you make a post, you have to hit this publish button. So here is a categories widget, and you can see that my widget Noticias shows up there. So that just gives another way for your users to search for information. I can click on that, and then all of the things that are associated with that category will show up. Okay, so that is what I was asking for. I was asking for you to use widgets, one of which is categories. I would like to see you use an RSS feed too, because I think they're really a lot of fun. But you can play with other widgets, and I just want you really to get used to putting them, moving them around, getting them where you want them to be. Play with at least 3 different plugins, create your categories, and let's just make sure that we are correct here and everything that we're looking for. I didn't ask you here on the rubric yet to make your profile. However, I do want you to make your profile. Yes, 3 widgets, 3 plugins. Continue advancing towards a final project. What this means is I don't want you just, pussyfooting around and not doing anything, not making any advancements. I want you to be putting in your content at this point. And because really we're well over halfway done in the semester, so you should be building this final project out at this point. So I do want to see that you are continuing to advance every week. I shouldn't even really have to put that. That's a given. So anyway, I'm looking forward to see what you're coming up with for your sites. Let me know if you have any problems, and I will see you again next week.